Hey, Furious Gamer here, back with another installment of Broken Sword Reforged. Um, Here we'll be continuing on from the museum, or right outside of Nico's apartment. Um, she had given us the name of the person at the museum, and that's where we'll go. So let's get into it. So I believe it's the Musée Kroon. So
Access to the side and rear of the museum building was blocked by a dense clump of bushes. A real macho guy would have plunged straight into the spiky, scratchy bushes. Not me. The rod turned smoothly, and the window above me opened. In the case was a spindly tripod, blackened with age and pitted with rust. It was identical to the tripod pictured on the manuscript. A notice identified it as 15th century from Western Ireland. It had been found in Loch Marne at the site of a Knights Templar preceptory. Ireland!
What's that?
This tripod was found in Ireland.
I will have to ask you to keep your voice down.
I'm sorry, I was excited.
Watch out! You will have that down on top of us!
it's like, come on now, I'm not a child.
Leave it alone. That closet is over 3,000 years old.
Okay,
Why?
maybe I am.
It's a sarcophagus. Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Are you Lobino?
Oh, no. Fancy you mistaking me for him. No. I am the deputy custodian.
But Lobino does work here.
Work? I wouldn't go so far as to call it that. He studies here most days, but as you can see for yourself, not today.
Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod, that belonged to John Dee.
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century, the Houdini of his time.
Don't you mean alchemist? Escapologists use ropes, chains, and handcuffs, not tripods.
Well, whatever he was, that is the tripod he used in his experiments.
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh, the usual. Didn't you study chemistry at school?
Yeah, but we skipped over thaumatology. Can I take a closer look at the tripod?
What? Get it out of the case? Ah, no. That tripod is protected by a sophisticated surveillance system.
How sophisticated?
A painfully loud alarm bell.
How is the alarm bell triggered?
By the slightest pressure on or movement of any part of the case wherein that tripod is situated.
It strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a little.
It has never failed yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
The sign on the tripod says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does?
Yeah, it doesn't mention John Dee at all.
Most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education I gained to my uncle. He was an optician, but he also doubled as the village school teacher. He taught me the alphabet. Well, 19 letters of it. The bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read, so he left them out.
Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education?
You know, I never thought of that. Do you think if I studied art and did all my homework, I could be a professor of history?
At your age? Dream on. Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar, though people often mistake me for one. It is the uniform, I guess. They see the clothes. They are impressed.
And they ask you to park their cars?
They ask me to park the... No, no, no. They assume I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Whereas you know next to nothing about history.
Of course not. All I am saying is, I am no scholar. Not like Monsieur Lobineau.
Thanks for your help. The tripod was definitely the one on the manuscript. The Templar connection confirmed it. I was tempted to go to Ireland to check it out.
Alright, so I suppose the next step, we need to go back to Nico's apartment and tell her what's up, right?
Hi, Jules.
I found the tripod.
Where?
In the museum. It belonged to the Templars. It was dug up in Ireland at a place called Loch Marn.
I have heard of Lochmarn. I read an article about the castle. Take a look for yourself.
A popular gossip magazine? You read that rubbish?
No, I write it.
Professor Nigel Pegram, excavating the medieval castle at Loch Marn. That's strange.
What?
He resigned his chair at Durham University in order to devote his time to the excavation. Not only that, but he canceled the filming of a fourth series of his popular television program. This site at Loch Marn must be awful important to him.
He's a professor of history. They're all cuckoo.
All the same, I'd like to talk to this Professor Pegram. How do you feel about a trip to Ireland?
Disappointed.
Huh?
That I won't be going. I want to follow up the Bellotta case. If you really think Picram's Dam is important, why don't you visit Lochmarn?
On my own? I'm not so sure about that. Where is Ireland exactly? What do you know about Professor Pegram?
I've seen a television program, Picram's Past. He's written a book, The Crusader Families of Ireland.
I'll bet he'd be interested in the manuscript. Let's take another look at the manuscript. That's the tripod in the Crew Museum. There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
She reminds me of the Wicked Queen in Snow White.
She was the one who said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall," wasn't she? She made me cry so much when I was a kid, Mom carried me out of the movie theater.
She didn't frighten me in the least.
Like I said, I was only a kid. I didn't like the crocodile in Peter Pan either. A knight with a crystal ball. There's something written on the scroll beside the knight.
Yes, but it's written in Latin. Per disciplinam mea lux videbis.
By my teachings, you will see the light.
You speak Latin? Where did you learn it?
A trick? I studied law, okay? I can read Latin.
My, you're touchy. Tell me that again.
Through my teachings, you will be enlightened. There's a guy working on a loom. He's weaving a carpet or a tapestry.
Or a duvet cover. It's a clue to a place, I reckon. Somewhere famed for weaving and ships.
Where folk live in barrels?
It beats copper boxes.
There's a guy with a sword and a bull.
The only mythological bull I know of is the Minotaur, but he was only half bull.
I don't think I'd like to be half a bull, even if it was the bottom half.
What's that object between them?
It looks like a gem on top of a tripod. Did you live with your father?
Yes, my mother went off with her new boyfriend. I don't mind. Papa was all I needed. 4 years later, he died in a plane crash.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, it's all right. I don't mind talking about him. He was more like an older brother, really, always joking and laughing. Papa always wanted I should study art. That's why I went to college.
Did you learn about photography at college?
Oh, God, no. I couldn't afford the materials. We were billed for everything we used, paint, canvas, paper. Most of my year turned to minimalism. It was cheaper. I used to go poaching in the park for squirrel hair. The only time I wasn't hungry was the term I did printing. I used to eat the potatoes.
You're making fun of me, aren't you?
Oh, no.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Not anymore. There was someone, a guy in my final year, but it didn't work out. Neither did my degree.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Tell me more about your family.
When I was a little girl, I used to spend the winter with my grandfather and grandma. They were the best times, warm and safe in their tiny cottage. My grandfather rolled cigarettes while my grandma made hot chocolate and cakes. One day, he stopped his rolling. He put the lid back on the tobacco jar and took me in his arms. I laughed and wriggled, but he hushed me to be silent. And with his unshaven chin all scratchy in my ear, he told me his secret.
What did he say?
He said, "I don't smoke, but she likes to think I do."
What a weird old man.
Don't call my grandfather weird. He was the nicest guy ever. I wish I was back in that cottage instead of this crummy apartment in this noisy city.
I'll see you later.
Okay. Keep me informed if you find anything new.
Alright, so from here, I think we need to head over to Ireland. So as soon as we get out, that's what we'll do. We'll go to the map and Out of here. Go up to the airport. Aeroport. And go over to Lockmarn. These guys always made me laugh in the original, just the accents that they used. If I remember correctly, the creator said that
Several
they
hours later,
changed
I
some
arrived in
things
Ireland,
to make
the
it
Emerald
less
Isle. I'd been
stereotype.
lucky to get a bus from Dublin to the
Stereotypical,
tiny
I guess.
village of Lochmarn. On the
I
way
guess we'll
out,
see.
the driver told me there was only one service a day.
So one thing that we need to do here is for another trophy, we need for the trophy social work. We need to get to know all the locals on holiday. So I think that's just talking to everyone that's here. We'll take a stab at it.
My name's George.
Pleased to meet you, mister. My name's Fitzgerald.
Can I get you another drink?
Oh, no, thank you. I shouldn't be drinking at all. I'm on tablets for my nerves. More than a pint and I'll pass out.
Do you know Professor Pegram?
He's the archaeologist, isn't he?
That's right.
I was gonna say, the look says it all, brother.
Did you work at Professor Pegram's dig?
What gave you that idea?
Have you heard about the gem which Pegram found?
I heard a rumor, but you can't believe everything you hear or see, can you?
Where can I find Professor Pegram?
I heard he's gone fishing. I don't know where.
What can you tell me about the castle?
There's nothing there. Just an old ruin.
How old?
I really couldn't tell you.
Have you ever explored the castle yourself?
I used to play there sometimes, when I was a kid. Then one of the little ones fell off the wall, broke his head and died. We didn't go there anymore.
You haven't been up there recently?
No.
See you later. There was a vacant look on his cow-like face that said quite clearly, "Nobody home." His elbow rested on an obviously soggy piece of towel. Hi, my name's Stobart, George Stobart.
Hello there, mister. What can I do for you?
Do you know Professor Pegram?
Do I know him? Do I know the good professor himself? No, I don't. I mean, I know who he is, but I don't know him to talk to.
Do you know anything about Pegram's excavation?
Only that he didn't have the right tools for the job. What he needed was shovels and a JCB.
Pegram was digging for historical remains, not coal.
Is that a fact? What the hell for?
It's the science of archaeology, Pat. Understanding how people used to live by what they've left behind. One day archaeologists might be digging up our remains.
Imagine that, Mr. O'Brien. I wonder what they'll find.
Well, it won't be arrowheads and beakers. Fast food cartons and flavored condoms, more likely.
Is it true that Pegram found a valuable gem?
What? First I heard of it.
Where have you been, Pat? For that gem is the talk of every town from Lochmarn to Ballydoon.
Nobody told me.
A lucky sod. So that's why he scampered.
Did anyone from the village work at Pilgrim's Dig?
I tried it myself, but that high and mighty history man called me incontinent. What a nerve. Hadn't I dug more holes than the rest of them put together?
Do you remember seeing Sean Fitzgerald at the dig?
Let me see now. I think me brain box needs a spot of lubrication.
Can you tell me anything about the castle on the hill?
Oh, I don't know much about anything. You should ask Mr. O'Brien here. He does joined up writing. Would you be one of them history fellows yourself?
That's right. Professor Stobart, Miskatonic University.
You're an archaeologist, and you're asking us about the castle.
Excuse me, Mr. O'Brien. The gentleman was talking to me. How come you didn't leave with the others?
I didn't know they'd gone.
Oh, yes. Packed their spades and shovels, and away they went.
Seems I missed all the excitement. Can I buy you a drink?
You most certainly can.
Give me a drink for my friend here.
Well, that was delayed.
Well, has he conned you into buying for him? Shame on you, Patrick.
Same again. Just a point this time, Michael.
1 point of brown coming up.
Do you remember Sean Fitzgerald now?
I can picture the scene as if it was only last week. Come to think of it, it was only last week. Fitzgerald was there all right. Him and a bunch of students. He was speaking with the boss man.
Bye for now. Hello there. My name's George Stobart.
Pleased to meet you, I'm Sean. I'm O'Brien. Can I help you?
Do you know where I can find Pegram?
You're too late to meet that fella.
Is he dead?
Not that, but he's gone from the village. A sore point with our esteemed host, I might add.
Why is Pegram's departure upset the landlord?
He's lost a paying guest, that's why. More than that, there's the question of an unsettled bill. Poor Michael's seen red over the business, and I don't blame him.
Can you tell me more about the landlord?
Mick Leary is what you call a would-be sophisticated. The trouble is, his idea of sophistication extends as far as putting paper in the lavatory.
I never worked out why he did that. It's much too dark in there to read.
That's true. Have you ever run your hand over the back of the door? The graffiti is written in Braille.
Do you know where Pegram has gone?
I'm sorry, but I don't. He upped anchor in the dark and shipped out before the dawn.
Why did he do that?
Who knows? A guilty conscience or a secret assignation. Whatever the reason, he'll not be missed in Lochmar. Maybe now the fuss about the gem has died down, we can get back to normal.
What can you tell me about the gem which Pegram found?
Now there's a gem which should never have been taken. A man would have to be full of greed to covet that stone. What's your interest in the jewel? You're not a reporter, are you?
Yes, that's right.
Another bloody news hound. Well, you're wasting your time here, boy. You'll find the people of Lochmar are a tight-lipped and cautious lot.
Why? Have you got something to hide?
It's just that we don't like to wash our dirty laundry in public.
What can you tell me about the castle, Mr. O'Brien?
Ah, you're wasting your time. There's no story there. Just a pile of rock and rubble.
Was it Pegram who dug up the tripod at the castle?
The same man, if he wasn't his twin brother. And can you guess what he did with the tripod?
He sent it to a museum in Paris. I've seen it. How can I get into the castle?
Listen, it's closed, locked, barred, and bolted. The castle is as impenetrable as the walls of Troy.
So I can't get in then?
My, you're bright for a journalist.
Goodbye for now.
Good riddance to you.
Alright, and to make sure that we do everything for the trophy, You need to talk to the violin guy over here.
The guy with the fiddle seemed oblivious to
And the
everything except his
bartender.
playing. Meanwhile, everyone else in the bar seemed oblivious to him.
And, he always looked like a monk in the original. I still say he looks like a monk, the dude over in the corner.
He wasn't listening. He wasn't listening. Top of the morning to you.
I beg your pardon.
Well, that's what you Irish say, isn't it?
Do you want something? Or are you just flaunting your xenophobia?
Well, I was trying to be sociable.
Is it a room you're after?
That's not a bad idea. Do you have a vacancy?
I could. If you don't mind waiting until the last guest checks out.
No problem. When will that be?
When the undertaker comes to collect him.
I don't want anything.
Or just give me a shout when you do.
Hi there, old-timer. What? Nasty cold you've got there. As soon as the words left my lips, I regretted them.
Is there such a thing as a cold which isn't nasty? I put the question to Father Mahoney. Father, says I, why were we born to suffer snot?
What did he say?
He said, it's my reward for being out all night like a sinner. Pious prig. Anyway, this is no ordinary cold. It's the hay fever.
Pollinosis?
Thank you. You're not a policeman, are you?
Excuse me?
Police? No. I'd know it if you were.
Do you know Pegram, the archaeologist?
That's the scrawny fellow who was poking around at the castle, isn't it? No, I don't know him.
Were you aware that Pegram was conducting an archaeological dig?
I don't meddle in other people's affairs. They don't interest me.
Do you know where I can find Pegram?
I told you, I never heard of him.
Can you tell me how to get into the castle?
Don't even think about it, me bucko. Lochbarn Castle is haunted.
Have you ever seen the ghost?
To be sure, with me very own eyes.
Can you describe the ghost?
It was horrible. A wee stunted beast, long beak, straggly, flappy wings.
Are you sure it wasn't a wild animal? A rabbit or a skunk or something?
Skunk? In Lochbarn? That'll be the day. No, that was a ghost, to be sure.
Ghosts don't bother me. I still want to visit that castle.
You can't. It's not open to the public.
There's no one around to stop me, is there?
That's right. Nothing human, anyhow.
Can I buy you a beer?
Very kind, I'm sure. But I don't drink the stuff Leary sells.
What's wrong with it?
I've seen what it can do.
I'll see you later.
So the next step, we need to wait until he sneezes. Oh,
Hello again.
and then grab the that string or that wire he drops. So let's see if we
What?
can time this properly.
What's that you're making?
It's a necklace, me bucko.
Oh, sure. Made out of steel wire?
That's right. A necklace for my pretty one. When my little lover feels it round her slender neck, she'll be mine. All mine.
If I was a woman, I wouldn't think much of a wire necklace.
It's not made for a woman. I've got my sights on tastier dishes than women. Flesh as smooth and tender as a maiden's. Bones as soft and white as a newborn babe's. Rabbit, lad. That's what gets my juices flowing.
Ah, so you're making snares to trap rabbits.
That's right. Do you have a problem with that?
Damn right I do. Isn't it painful?
Only if I get me fingers caught.
I'm talking about the rabbits. Do they feel much pain?
You bet.
I'll see you later.
Alright, let's try this again. Give it a second.
As soon as the old guy
Got it.
looked away, I grabbed this piece of wire.
Alright. I think I'm good with talking to these guys. He's still playing, so I don't think I can talk to him. Walk over here.
The man's arm lay across the towel, preventing me from moving it. The man's arm lay across the towel, preventing me from moving it.
We need to wait until he takes a drink and yoink.
As the man raised his arm to drink, I snatched the towel away.
Alright, I think the last person to talk to for the trophy is the kid outside here.
The lad was doing his best to express his adolescent aggression. His effort was somewhat diminished by the fringe of milk on his lightly feathered upper lip. Hi there.
What?
What's your name, kid?
Who are you calling kid? Who the hell are you?
Rosso's the name. Murder's my game.
Are you a detective?
Let's just say I'm here to find the truth.
Cool. Just like on the telly.
Cut the crap and tell me your name.
Liam McGuire.
What are you doing hanging around the bar, McGuire?
I'm on the run from me dad.
Why? Did you do something bad?
I ain't done nothing, boss.
You can tell me, kid. Is it your dad?
Oh, sir. He drinks every last penny down his evil throat. And there's me poor old mother, bedridden and dying of presumption. I tried to buy her medicine. Chopped firewood for Father Mahoney till me fingers bled. The old skinflint cheated me too. But I took the pennies he gave me back home. Look, Ma, says I, see what your darling son has earned with his own sweat and blood. When suddenly, me dad appears and grabs the loot. I'm off to Dublin heavy drinking, says he. Watch out till I get back. That's why I runned away.
Something in the grin on his face told me he wasn't being strictly truthful. Compared to him, Huckleberry Finn was a candidate for Altar Boy of the Year. Do you know a man called Pegram?
Can you describe him like on the telly in the cop shows?
He's an English archaeologist.
I know the man you mean if he's the one.
Can you tell me where I'd find Pegram?
No, I can't, 'cause he's not here now, but if I sees him, I'll ask him.
Do you know what Pegram was doing in the castle?
Digging for buried treasure. Jewels and gold and skeletons, like in the films.
Do you know anything about Pegram's dig?
He wouldn't let me anywhere near it. I offered to help, but he chased me off. I didn't want to see his smelly old hole anyhow.
Did anyone from the village work at the dig?
Pegram bought some students and bums with him. He reckoned no one in Lochmarn would know what to look for. The only local guy who worked for him was Sean Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald says he's never been anywhere near the dig.
He's having you on, mister.
Are you sure Fitzgerald worked at the dig?
Oh, yes. It was him, all right. Would I tell a lie?
Well, he denies it.
I saw them together only last night.
I wish you'd told me that sooner. What were they doing?
Pegram gave Fitzy a box. He didn't look too happy about it.
I knew it. But how am I going to persuade him to part with it?
Break his fingers.
Nah, I couldn't do that.
I could.
Thanks for the offer, kid, but I'll try a more subtle approach.
Chinese burns?
What's Fitzgerald scared of?
Everything and everyone.
So I shouldn't have any trouble getting him to talk.
He's a pushover. But don't scare him too much. Try the soft touch. Butter him up a bit.
I heard that Pegram had found a legendary gem.
That's right. It's been the talk of Lochman all week.
You haven't seen the gem, have you?
Oh, no. I reckon Pegram made off with it. If I was him, I'd go to Amsterdam, chop it up and sell it. He could be living the life of Riley instead of digging holes.
What can you tell me about the castle, McGuire?
What do you want to know?
Well, can I get inside?
No. It's locked up.
Does anyone live there?
No. Only...
What?
Oh, nothing.
You know something about the castle you're not telling me, don't you?
No.
What is it you're covering up? Is it something you're scared of?
I ain't scared of nothing.
I'll give you one last chance to tell me about the castle.
Oh, yeah? And what if I don't?
Then I'm taking you back to school.
Oh. There's a ghost. It's called the Phantom of Lochman.
Have you seen a guy dressed as a clown?
Here in Lochmarn, they all dress like clowns.
The man I'm looking for is a dangerous psychotic.
Jesus. It's just like that film I saw. There's this clown, see? And he's after this kid who saw him kill a guy. He tries to warn the sheriff, only no one believes him. Then, while he's in the tub, the clown cuts him up with a chainsaw.
My God, that doesn't sound suitable for a kid like you.
Who are you calling a kid? I'm 25.
Yeah, right. You're not a day over 14.
Oh, no, it's 25 that I am. Married with a car and 3 kids. 10 kids if you count the wives.
You're not telling me you believe in ghosts, are you?
Mister, I seen it with me very own eyes. Last Tuesday night, I went up to see what that dig was about. I just reached the top of the wall when I hears this awful noise.
What sort of noise?
A horrible snuffling and snorting, like O'Brien's pig, only worst. It was coming from inside the castle.
Did you find out what was making the noise in the castle?
No fear. I just sat there on the wall like Humpty Dumpty. The moon was cracked and greasy like an old dinner plate. The yard was full of shadows. I could have been hiding anything. I would have gone home, but me legs had lost their stuffing.
Did you get to see the ghost?
Indeed I did. And a fearsome sight it is too. I sat on my arse, waited while the moon went down. Then out it comes from the shadows, all grey and tattered and hunched over like an old bent willow. Then I hears this spluttering and splashing and horrible laughter in the dark. I was so scared. Why, I fell off the bloody wall.
I'm sure there's a rational explanation for what you saw at the castle.
There is. The bloody place is haunted.
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
All right, so now let's go inside and see why Fitzgerald lied to us, right?
Hello.
McGuire says he saw you working at the dig. What's more, he saw you talking with Pegram.
I knew this would happen. I knew I'd get caught.
Doyle told me you definitely worked at the dig. He's seen you there. You might as well admit it.
Just my luck. Grasped up by a delinquent and a dimwit.
I need to talk to Professor Pegram, if he's still alive.
What do you mean? Is he in danger?
Yeah, you too, if I'm right.
You're not from the Social Security.
Hell no. What makes you think that?
Well, I was claiming benefit at the same time I was working for Pegram.
I'm not in a position to make judgments, Sean. That's between you and your conscience. All I want is to talk to Pegram about the gem.
But he's not here.
I know that. But he left that package with you, didn't he? What did Pegram find at the castle?
The entrance to an underground chamber. It was filled with earth and rubble, and Pegram had us dig it out. We uncovered a secret room, a hidden chapel.
Did Pegram find the gem in the altar room?
I don't know. He made us leave and wouldn't tell us why. Half an hour later he came out, white as a sheet he was. He closed down the dig and locked up the castle, sent us all away.
From the sound of it, Pegram had discovered more than just the gem. So where did Pegram go?
I don't know. I swear it. He came to see me early this morning. Said he was leaving. He asked me to give this package to a guy called Marquet.
Show me what's in the package, Sean.
I can't do that.
Why not?
I promised the professor.
So what? You didn't have any qualms about your benefit scam. So where's the harm in taking a peek inside Pegram's package?
You don't know these people. I can't. I don't dare.
This is your last chance to show me the package, Fitzgerald. I've been patient with you, but now it's time to kick ass.
But he'll kill me.
Who will?
Man from Paris. Jack Marquet. Pegram told me if I gave him the package unopened, I'd hear no more about it. But if I double-crossed Marquet, I'd be dead.
I'll deal with Jacques Marquet. Give the package to me.
No. Why should I trust you? I don't know who to trust anymore. I wish I'd never even heard of the Lochmarn gem.
Well, that didn't sound good.
Hey, I just seen a big red.
Get out of here, McGuire. Come back when you're old enough.
What's the lad howling about?
A big red sports car. Sean Fitzgerald's been runned over.
Get out! Noisy little tyke.
Maybe you should send out some medicinal brandy, Michael.
Oh, yes. And who's going to pay for it?
Not me.
Me too, neither.
I was telling the truth about Fitzy, mister.
Okay, calm down. Now tell me what happened.
I was standing here, minding me own business, when I saw this beautiful red sports car coming up over the hill. Would you look at that, says I, and I going over to take a closer look. Next thing, Fitzy comes tearing out of the pub and nearly knocks me on my ass. Well, the car just flies at him. It was too fast for poor old Fitzy, and hit him an awful wallop. He goes flying up on top. Jesus, says I thought he was a goner. Next thing, the driver hops out, and I couldn't believe my eyes. He was dressed like a bloody pixie.
Did Fitzgerald drop anything when he was hit?
I didn't see. It all happened so fast.
Did this pixie have a scar on his cheek?
I couldn't see. He was wearing a stupid mask. Are you a special agent?
Sorry to disappoint you, kid, but I'm not. See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
I think that we need to look at this switch
I pushed the switch down,
preemptively
but in
for
doing
the
so it snapped off in my hand.
conversation with the barkeep.
I was about to reach for the pump when I came to my senses. A rash move like that in a strange country with strange customs could be my last. Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Do you know Sean Fitzgerald very well?
I know him enough not to sell him more than 2 pints. He's like a kid when he gets a few beers inside him.
I'm not surprised. He's on medication. It's for his nerves.
There's nothing wrong with his nerves. He's just screwy.
Do you know a man called Pegram?
Indeed I do. Are you a friend of his, by any chance?
Oh no, I'm just trying to track him down.
Me too. That son of a bitch should be locked away.
Did Pegram stay here?
That's right. In the best room in the house. That's the one with the bed.
Can I see Pegram's room?
It's been taken by one of the brothers from the reformatory. They come every year for spiritual refreshment.
That's a good one. Their idea of refreshment is a good full of stout.
I wouldn't want to disturb a man of God, especially not a big fella from the bad boys' home.
I don't blame you, Mick. That brother's got muscles like a muscle man.
Have you served any, clowns recently?
No, you're the first today.
Seriously, I'm looking for a man dressed in a clown costume.
Would he be having a little white dog with a black patch over the eye?
I shouldn't think so. What can you tell me about the castle?
You're the second person to ask me that today. I don't know anything about the castle. It's only an old ruin anyway.
Who else was asking about the castle?
He said he was a reporter. He was asking about the little people.
I could have told him a tale or two about the little people. He might have paid me to hear what he wanted me to say.
Anyway, I chucked him out on his arse.
Good for you, Meg. That's the way to deal with journalists.
I'll try a glass of beer, please.
Is this your first pint of real ale?
Well, I guess so. What's real ale, anyhow?
Beer that's brewed from natural ingredients to traditional methods. It shouldn't be kept under pressure or refrigerated. And finally, it should have a good body and distinctive character.
In other words, it's flat and worn with bits in, and it makes you fall over.
I'm sorry, but the pump appears to be broken.
I can fix it for you.
I don't think so. This is a job for a professional electrician. Oh well, at least the glass washer is still working. It's not my idea, is it?
Thanks.
So here, we need to trick him into thinking we are an electrician. So we'll show him Merlin's ID card, so that he'll let us play with the dishwasher and stuff.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
It just so happens I'm an electrician. Check out my credentials.
Well, now, isn't that marvelous? Ha, here's the house bedeviled with faulty wiring of a wayward nature. Here's you, an electric man, with a little plastic card to prove it. I still want to see what you can do before I let you touch me beer pumps. You can make a start on the glass washer. And when you finish that, will you take a look at the pumps?
There was nothing physically wrong with the glass washer. I used all my knowledge of electrical engineering to examine the plug. Seemed fine to me.
So now, for whatever reason, the solution here is to take the wire and put it in the plug. And
I replaced the fuse with a piece of wire. I knew it was dangerous, but I was desperate enough to disregard everything I knew about standard safety precautions. Excuse me, Mr. Leary. I fixed your glass washer, no problem.
Bingo! And a blessing to all the saints. A free half pint to that man on the house. Now, could you take a look at the beer pumps?
Well, I guess so, but I'm not making any promises.
If you can't fix them, I'll have a riot on me hands.
The pumps are in the cellar, right?
That's right. You'll find a flashlight down there somewhere.
What a dumb place to store a flashlight. A dark cellar. The only way I was going to find anything down there was to feel around. I pushed the lever and heard the grating of metal, but nothing appeared to happen.
that supposedly did something up and outside. We'll just take a look. Ah, that's what I think it did. It unlocked the trapdoor here, which probably just allows you to see in the cellar.
I lifted the trap door, and an overpowering smell of stale beer rose from the cellar below. I looked down on a stone-tiled floor, way too far to jump.
Oh man, it's Khan.
Excuse me.
There was a nasty feeling in my guts I usually associated with light opera. It was Khan. What's the problem?
Did you see what happened here a few minutes ago?
What was that?
A man was involved in an unfortunate accident.
I didn't see anything.
What about the boy?
He doesn't know anything either. The kid, well, you know how it is in these rural communities. Not enough genes to go round. I prayed McGuire had the sense to keep his mouth shut. Was the guy hurt bad?
He's been taken care of, but he thinks he dropped a small parcel. You didn't happen to find it, did you?
If I had, I would have taken it to the police.
Of course. Thank you.
Oh, I guess we jump down here then?
It wasn't my nerves that stopped me jumping. It was my damned legs. They wouldn't
yeah,
move.
That's what I thought. So we need to go back down the stairs.
Then I noticed a flash of light, something sparkling beneath the open trap door. It was Peagrim's gem, all right. A large, uncut blue stone. As I held it aloft, I realized the fascination it could command. I guess I was already under its spell.
Did you find it?
What?
Whatever you was looking for.
Yeah. Listen, McGuire. I want you to keep this to yourself.
No problemo. Just chuck us up a crate of lager.
No way. You're not old enough.
We can sell it and make some cash.
Forget it, kid. I couldn't betray Mr. Leary's trust.
I could, for sure. That old misery guts deserves it.
If you want to do me a favor, keep a lookout for that guy in the suit.
Okay. But it'll cost you a packet of chips.
Oh, and shout if you see that Ferrari.
We do not need to worry about anything else in the cellar here. We just need to go back up and check out the castle to the right of McGuire outside the pub.
Hi.
Ah,
speak
so
English?
there was
Well,
another
now,
person.
What if I was
I
to
was
say
mistaken.
no? An implication of cognizance shrouded in denial. A pretty poser of a paradox indeed.
I gave him the look I'd perfected when I was 12 and was going to be the greatest hypnotist of all time. It was a killer.
Are you attempting to hypnotize me, or is it the constipation you're suffering?
I was a little out of practice. Did you happen to see a red sports car down on the road?
I caught a glimpse of a flash of red on the hill and heard the racket. Sure, it was an awful noise. A sports car, you say?
A Ferrari, to be exact.
A racing car? And what was it doing here? The poor fella must have been lost.
The driver of the Ferrari was involved in an accident.
Is that so?
Yeah, he knocked somebody down outside the bar.
What an idiot! How could a thing like that happen?
He was traveling too fast.
So fast, he ran right under the car?
I mean, the car was traveling too fast.
But you'd have thought the idiot could have heard it coming.
Maybe you know the guy who was hit by the Ferrari. His name is Sean Fitzgerald.
Oh, I know him all right. That's me nephew, the idiot responsible for the stacking of my hay cart. Was he killed by the car?
Oh, no, but he has been abducted.
Well, that's a relief now.
Aren't you going to look for your nephew?
What for? From what you say, it's too late.
Well, you could report the matter to
We'll
the police.
just
Better not. Besides, what could they do?
talk
Well, they could mount a search.
or select
They have
everything,
only the one bicycle
all the
between them.
conversation
In a
points
question of
until
superior
there are none.
acceleration, I put me money on the Ferrari.
At which point I think he leaves.
I think you ought to know exactly what Sean has gotten himself into.
I'm not sure I want to know.
But you're his uncle, his own flesh and blood.
You're right, but what can I do? If I'm not here to guard it, some idiot might try to climb the haystack. What a moral dilemma. Stay here and guard this potentially lethal agricultural construction, or to go off in search of the prodigal nephew, the very man responsible for said hazard? It'll need some thinking about.
Why, there's no problem.
You're right. Why didn't I think of it before? We'll demolish the haystack.
You don't have to demolish the haystack to go look for Sean. I'll stay here in your place and warn anyone who's silly enough to climb it.
Marvelous! I think I should start me inquiries in the bar.
He strode off in the direction of McDevitt's bar, leaving me to contemplate the stack of hay.
So, one thing for the trophy, I need to keep checking back. How do I get back to the bar? This way. We need to keep checking back and making sure that we choose all of the dialogue options at any given time. Because if we miss any, then I think that negates the trophy.
Hey, McGuire.
Which I still need to
What do
go
you want to
back
know?
for the first trophy, which we'll probably need to
See you later, kid.
start
Okay,
a new game
mister.
for. Just for that trophy. So let's go back in here and make sure all of the options are going.
Hello again.
What?
I think I know what you saw on the castle wall.
I know what I saw.
I don't think so. It was the kid, McGuire.
What?
He was up on the wall last Tuesday night. He thought you were the Phantom of Lochmarn.
Oh.
I'll see you later. He wasn't listening. Hello.
Ah, hello there. Let me introduce you to my pals.
We've already met. I want you to know you have my sympathy.
Oh, it's just terrible, awful.
It's the worst news I heard all day.
It's top the bad news all right for this week and the next.
The whole year.
It's worse than that. It's the worst disaster in living memory.
Isn't it the biggest calamity in the history of the village?
I would say it's the biggest in the history of Ireland.
The most awesome disaster since mankind paddled out of the primal plop.
There's no beer.
What about Sean? Why aren't you out looking for him?
There's no point in launching an ill-equipped expedition to save the lad. In a life-or-death situation, preparation is essential. That's why I slipped in here.
For a point.
Is a glass of beer more important than a man's life?
Were you talking to me?
To all of you. Sean Fitzgerald has met with God knows what, and all you can do is drink.
Sean has gone for a ride in a flash car, that's all. Why don't you calm down and join us?
I gotta go. Excuse me, Mr. O'Brien.
What now?
The boy told me Fitzgerald was driven away in the car that hit him.
McGuire is always spinning wild yards. I don't know where he gets them from. Television, I expect, or comics. If I was you, I'd take what he says with a generous pinch of salt.
The change in graphics still just blows my mind. Like, this is literally how I played it when I was a child. Just to see it like that just blows my mind.
McGuire's tale about the car sounds quite plausible to me. He says the driver was dressed like a leprechaun.
That boy has a head full of fluffy toys.
Goodbye for now.
Good riddance to you.
Hey.
Hello there again, mister.
Oh, nothing really. Hey.
Hello there again, mister.
What do you know about leprechauns, Doyle?
Leprechauns.
Is it the little people you're talking about? Sure, and a cousin of mine was wed to one.
Oh, come on. Do you really expect me to believe that?
It's the truth, I'm telling you. She fell asleep on a fairy ring, see? When she woke up, there he was. A little fella. All in green.
Tell me more about your cousin the leprechaun.
Oh, no.
Well, young Mary was speechless, especially when the leprechaun up and spoke to her. Be my bride, me darling, says he, and she'll never want for riches again. Okay, says she, and he slips her in the daisies on her finger.
Amen.
So there you are, proof that the little people exist.
Well, that's no proof. All you have is her word for it.
Not so. The following spring, she had a little baby.
Did the leprechaun's promise come true?
What promise was that now?
That she'd never want for riches again.
Now, there's the strangest thing. She never did.
I thought you said she was claiming the social part.
Indeed, Mr. O'Brien, but there's riches and riches. She told me, Pat, she says, that little darling boy is all the riches in the world to me.
Bye for now.
One thing for the trophy that a lot of people have an issue with or trouble with is that you need to show the bartender his bar towel. That's where most people miss. So let's go ahead and do that.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
May I borrow this towel?
Sure you can, on one condition.
What's that?
You keep it away from old Ron.
Who's Ron?
That's him in the corner, with the hygiene problem.
And there it is. Get to know all the locals on holiday. And we'll go up here. And now with that trophy, we'll head back up to the castle and break in like some juveniles. We'll somehow climb. Let's see here. Yeah. And I'm doing this all from memory up to this point.
Stack of hay
So I
stopped
know we take
short of
the,
the top of the wall. Even if I stretched as
sewer
far as I
key
could, the wall was out of reach.
jam it into the stone
What I needed
here.
was a slice or two of Alice's Wonderland.
We grab it out of our inventory, find the hole, interact.
I inserted the end of the lifting key in the mortarless crack and gave it a firm shove. It remained lodged in the wall, jutting out to form a step.
Alright, now we interact with it again, and he should climb up.
I tugged at the lifting key and found it was held quite
We
securely.
should have successfully... Maybe?
I tugged at the lifting key and found it was held quite securely.
I did not mean to do that.
I tugged at the
third
lifting
time.
key and found it was held quite securely.
Alright, here we go. This goat always gave me
fiercest,
trouble
meanest-looking old goat I'd ever laid eyes
when
upon.
I was younger. This part I always had issues with. So we'll see if it still presents me with issues. But with that, with us getting into the castle, I'm going to call it here. We'll continue on another day. So if you want to continue to see these broken swords up to the end, subscribe, like, so you can be, and ring that bell so you can be notified when I go live.